Embrace self-acceptance. Choose happiness every day. Are you ready to embrace who you truly are and choose happiness despite life's struggles? It takes courage to choose ourselves, especially when we're surrounded by messages telling us we're not enough. But what if those messages are just noise? What if the real journey begins when we turn down the volume of the world and start listening to the whispers of our own hearts? In this video, we dive into the power of self-acceptance and how to let go of societal pressure and harsh criticism. Join me as we take small steps toward choosing happiness every day. This isn't about toxic positivity or pretending everything is perfect. It's about cultivating resilience, embracing our imperfections, and finding joy in the midst of it all. We're diving right in, friends, because choosing happiness starts with a grateful heart. How often do we wake up and immediately focus on what's wrong, what we need to fix, or what we didn't accomplish yesterday? It's time to shift that narrative. Starting today, I challenge you to wake up and name 3 things, big or small, that you're grateful for. Maybe it's the warmth of the sun on your face, the sound of your child's laughter, or simply the fact that you have another day to learn and grow. Gratitude isn't about ignoring the challenges in our lives. It's about choosing to focus on the good, the beautiful, the things that fill our cups, even when life feels heavy. When we practice gratitude, we train our minds to see the world through a lens of abundance rather than scarcity. We start to notice the everyday miracles that we often take for granted. And you know what happens when we shift our perspective like that? We open ourselves up to more joy, more connection, and a deeper sense of belonging, right here, right now. So often, we chase happiness as if it's some far-off destination. We tell ourselves, I'll be happy when I get that promotion, find my soulmate, or finally lose those last 10 pounds. But what if happiness isn't a destination at all? What if it's a choice we make every single day, starting with a grateful heart? Life is messy. We experience loss, heartbreak, disappointment. It's all part of the human experience. But even in the midst of those hard things, there is always something to be grateful for. When we choose to focus on the good, even when it feels hard, we cultivate resilience. So, let's start each day with a gratitude practice. Write down your gratitudes in a journal, share them with a loved one, or simply reflect on them in your mind. This is a tough one, right? We live in a world obsessed with perfection. We scroll through social media and see curated lives, airbrushed faces, and seemingly effortless successes. It's easy to get caught up in the comparison game and feel like we're not enough. But here's the truth. Perfection is an illusion. It's a myth that keeps us small and afraid to truly be seen. What if, instead of striving for perfection, we embraced our imperfections? What if we gave ourselves permission to be perfectly imperfect? This is where authenticity lives, my friends, in the messy middle of our humanity. It's in the wrinkles around our eyes from years of laughter, the scars that tell stories of resilience, and the mistakes that have taught us valuable lessons. These imperfections don't diminish us. They make us real, relatable, and worthy of love and belonging. Think about it. Who are the people you're most drawn to? The ones who pretend to have it all figured out, or the ones who are brave enough to be vulnerable, to share their struggles and triumphs? Embracing our imperfections doesn't mean we stop growing or striving to be better versions of ourselves. It simply means we release the need to be perfect in order to be worthy of love, belonging, and connection. Chapter 3. Silence the noise. Let's talk about the noise, Those external and internal voices that tell us we're not enough. You know the ones? You're not thin enough, rich enough, successful enough. These voices, my friends, are dream stealers. They keep us small and afraid to go after what we truly want in life. So, how do we silence the noise? It starts with awareness. Pay attention to the messages you're consuming and the thoughts swirling around in your head. Are they serving you or holding you back? Once you're aware of the noise, you can start to challenge it. Ask yourself, is this true? Whose voice am I really hearing? Often, the harshest critic we face is ourselves. Silencing the noise also requires setting boundaries. This might mean limiting your exposure to social media, surrounding yourself with positive influences, or simply saying no more often. Remember, you are not obligated to please everyone or live up to their expectations. This is your life, your journey. You get to decide what matters most to you and create a life that aligns with your values and aspirations. Chapter 4. Practice mindfulness. In the midst of our busy lives, it's easy to get caught up in the doing, the achieving, the constant striving. We forget to pause, to breathe, to simply be present in this moment. That's where mindfulness comes in. Mindfulness is the practice of paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It's about noticing our thoughts, feelings, and sensations without getting swept away by them. It's about cultivating a sense of awareness and acceptance of what is. Now, I know what you might be thinking. I don't have time for mindfulness. I can barely keep up with my to-do list. But here's the thing. Mindfulness doesn't have to be complicated or time-consuming. You don't need to sit in lotus position for hours on end. Even a few minutes of intentional breathing or mindful movement can make a world of difference. Start by finding small moments throughout your day to pause and connect with your breath. Notice the rise and fall of your chest, the coolness of the air entering your nostrils, the warmth of your breath as you exhale. As you focus on your breath, thoughts will inevitably arise. Don't judge them or try to push them away. Simply acknowledge them and gently guide your attention back to your breath. Mindfulness helps us to develop a more compassionate and accepting relationship with ourselves. When we're able to observe our thoughts and feelings without judgment, we create space for healing and growth. Chapter 5. Celebrate small wins. We often wait for the big milestones to celebrate, the graduations, the promotions, the weddings. But what about the everyday victories? The small wins that pave the way to our biggest dreams. Celebrating small wins is an act of self-love. It's a way of acknowledging our efforts and honoring our progress, no matter how small it may seem. When we take the time to celebrate our successes, we reinforce our belief in ourselves and our ability to achieve our goals. So often, we're quick to dismiss our accomplishments, telling ourselves, "It wasn't that big of a deal," or "anyone could have done it." But here's the thing, you did it. You showed up, you put in the effort, and you achieved something worthy of recognition. How do we celebrate small wins? It doesn't have to be anything elaborate or expensive. It's about finding small ways to acknowledge and reward ourselves for our efforts. The key is to find what feels good for you and make it a regular practice. Thank you for joining me on this journey to self-acceptance and happiness. Remember, it's okay to be a work in progress. We're all learning, growing, and evolving every single day. Embrace your imperfections, silence the noise of the world, and celebrate your small wins. You are capable of creating a life filled with joy, purpose, and deep connection. Believe in yourself, trust the journey, and never stop reaching for your dreams.